Shout out Sniper T on the beat.
Tamara to the break of dawn is on the rise, with life on the forefront of the mind. So line for line, you can ride this brain train and you can change your station without even touching the dial. So relax, stay a little bit, but listen for a while. And whether you're bumping this in the whip or in a business fit, it's a meeting you won't want to miss. A meeting for a meal to feed the soul with words for the mind. So sit back, enjoy the ride. Time to take off, it's time to fly. Cause Tamara till the break of dawn is on the rise.
Hey, welcome to the show, y'all. Yes. To all my new listeners, thank you so much for tuning in. To all my day 1, 2, 96, 245, whatever week you came in, thank you so much for your continued support. And yeah, let's get into it. So, y'all, what I have learned recently is that, man, fresh starts, golly, it's like I'll be 45 this year. And I just have recently been thinking about some of the things that I've restarted over and over again, and how when it's something that I restart, there's always something I learned the last time. So I'll just focus on my fitness journey for right now. This isn't just applicable to this, but I'll focus on just that, just to kind of stay focused. So like, I think about my fitness journey. I think about how probably was about 10, 11 years ago when I was like, okay, you got to get yourself back together or whatever. And I would try different things, and then life would start lifing as it tends to do. And then I would get off track, and then some more time would go by, and then I'd be like, okay. I got to get myself together. So I'm restarting something that I already did before. I have the lessons that I've learned. And so then I'm like, okay, I'm going to try to do it different, whatever. Boom, I would get off track, right? And this went on in this cycle of years and years and years of being unhappy with where I was at, but for whatever reason, never being able to stick to it, right? Then fast forward to, gosh, it's almost been 2 years since when I like actually first started doing CrossFit. And so then I'm like, okay, I've been on this journey over and over and over and over again, and I've restarted and I've done all the things, and I keep getting off track. So I really, before even jumping back into my fitness journey, I really had to sit down and be like, okay, why have I failed? I like working out. I enjoy eating healthy, all the things, but what is it that just makes me get off track? And what I realized then was like, I needed accountability. I don't want to hear anybody's mouth telling me that I'm not on top of what I'm supposed to be doing, right? And so I asked a friend to hold me accountable. She did. And then things shifted. I switched gyms, and my goodness, I've been at the gym that I'm not I've been at the gym that I'm at now a little over a year. So it was November of 2023, I think. Yeah, because it's 2025. So it's been about a year and a half. And the thing that's different now is that not only do I have accountability, but it's just like I am surrounded with community. So it's kind of like I work with people that go to the same gym as me. Staff workouts are built into our schedule. And then a lot of the people that go to my gym, including the owner of the gym and his family, they go to my church. So like I'm just constantly seeing people that I work out with, like in different environments. And what I've noticed as I really think about that, because even since being at this gym, when my dad died, I got off track again because grieving is wild. And so the good thing, though, is that we have staff workout once a week. So once a week, I would still get in a CrossFit workout, even if that was the only workout that I got in that week. And then fast forward to now where, I don't know, I've just been thinking about a lot of different things. So let's recap that part. When you're starting all over, and let's say it's something you've tried to do multiple times, my encouragement is before you start again, think about what were the factors that really caused you to get off track the last time. So like, don't just dive back into it and be like, okay, this time I'm gonna do it. Like, actually sit down and think like, why didn't I succeed last time if this is something that I really want to do? Then once you have that, like the problem, figure out what the solution is going to be, right? So that's how there's that. Then there's, fresh start, which is where it's kind of like maybe you like had a goal or something that you wanted to do before. This is where I kind of feel like I'm at with my company. So to those that are new, I don't remember, I think it was almost 4 years ago, I started a consulting agency. I did different things within that, just kind of experimenting with, okay, what do I want to do? Then there was this season where it was like, I had to do whatever, so just use the talents that I had to make money, because the job that I was at, they kind of made me make a choice. And then I chose me, Then I did subcontracting work for a while, and it was, coaching services, then shifted to where I felt the Lord call me into what I'm doing now, which I'm the marketing director at my church. So what I love about it is that it meshes together all the things that are important to me. So my faith, creativity, helping people, all the things are all in one thing. And I've never had that in any previous job, right? So then lately I've been thinking like, okay, I had said when I focused on subcontracting work that at some point I was going to get back to focusing on something. Like I was going to choose one aspect of my company, because I offered so many different services just trying to make money. I kind of put all that on pause. And I remember telling myself, and this was like over a year ago, that I was going to, at some point, focus on just one thing that I really, really enjoyed doing. And the reason why I said I was going to do that is because I'm still going to keep my job. But when it was all I had was my company, I really had to focus on, okay, I have to make money. So I have to do things that maybe they're not my favorite thing, but it is a service that I offer and it's a way to make money, right? However, now that I have a job that I really, really enjoy, I have steady income, I don't have to think like that. And so I've really been thinking like, okay, what is the one thing that I really, really enjoy doing that I want to do more of? And it's so wild because it's not even a service that I offered before, because I didn't have this skill. And so we'll get more into later about what I'm going to be offering, but it's just really interesting because sometimes when it comes to having a fresh start, you have to have that pause, because maybe before, when you were trying to do something, there's something that you needed to do that you didn't even have the skills for. And so you had to pause on that, go learn the skills, get the training, maybe education, whatever it is that you need to do. So then when you come back to it, you can be ready to do what you need to do. And that's why I've always had the mindset of it's not always just about the destination, although the destination matters, but it's really about the journey to get there, because the journey prepares us for where we're going, being given skills, talent, character development, whatever is needed. But the journey also helps us to wisely steward whatever it is that we're working towards so that we don't fumble it when we get there. And so, fresh starts can seem frustrating because now I'm like, okay, I know what I want to do. I have to come up with a plan for how I'm going to do it. And I'm already working on that. They can seem frustrating because it's like, bruh, it's like I'm starting all over with this. However, it's a beautiful thing that, I have learned to embrace over and over again in different scenarios, because what I can say is true of every time I've had a fresh start is that whatever I learned in that season in between the then and now, I always take that with me to that fresh start and there's always going to be new lessons to learn. Don't get me wrong, but it's never necessarily been just learning the same lesson over and over again. There's always like layers and levels to it, right? So yeah, fresh starts can be frustrating at times, like, bruh, oh my gosh, I'm starting all over again. But man, I'm seeing, and not just in stuff with my company, there's other areas of my life where I feel like I'm kind of getting a fresh start, and it's actually really refreshing, and it's actually super encouraging, because there's also sometimes in I'll say the absence of having something, or in the void, or in the waiting, or in the in between then and now, or here and there, or whatever. Sometimes in those seasons, you gain an appreciation for things in a way that you hadn't. And then when you go without something for a long time, and then you get an opportunity to have a second chance at it, it's like you just view it very differently. And I feel like you also are willing to maybe I don't want to say put in more work, but we'll just say it like that. I feel like you may be willing to put in a little bit more work, or appreciate it more, or be more mindful, like self-aware of the ways that you can self-sabotage, because that's a thing. You can be more mindful of like your toxic traits or your unhealthy habits, being, lack of discipline, whatever. There's so many things that can apply to having a fresh start. That's why I'm being very vague, because also in my life right now, there are multiple areas where I feel like I'm getting a fresh start, but it's super encouraging. And it's like, it gives like what I really appreciate about a fresh start is that there's like this excitement and this like newness, that there's a lot of unknowns, but it's kind of exciting. You know what I mean? So yeah, that is my encouragement to y'all. Like, embrace your fresh starts, because we're going to have them in different areas of our life at different times. But before you restart something, let's say it's something that you've been trying to work towards and you just keep coming back to it, man, take that time to kind of evaluate, why didn't this work last time? Why didn't I stick to it last time? Whatever it is that is causing you to have to restart something, like, take that time to think about that, come up with a plan, and then apply that, like, actually. And if you have to restart again and again and again, don't be discouraged. You know what I mean? Because it's all about the journey. It's not always just about, and I would say it's more so about the journey than the destination, because what I have found to be true is when I work towards a goal and then I achieve that goal, I'm always, and I can say always for this, I have always been like, okay, now what? Because either like when I graduated college, okay, now what? Because college is over. Or when I've achieved different goals, it's like, okay, now how do I work to maintain this? So again, now what, right? But if you focus on the journey and like ultimately who the journey is really shaping you to be, like that's the stuff that's going to stick with you, whether you move on from that goal. Because sometimes we get things and then we're like, you know what? I don't really want this. And that's okay, right? You'll work towards something else. So the journey, though, and who you become, that's going to stick with you everywhere you go. So yeah, that is what I have for y'all this week. Embrace your fresh starts, y'all. As always, though, make sure you take care of yourself mentally. Make sure you take care of yourself emotionally. Like, be in tune with your feelings and accept them, embrace them, allow yourself to feel them. Don't try to rush past that. So I struggle with that sometimes, where like, I want to hurry up and get past whatever. No, it is okay to just be sad sometimes, especially when traumatic things happen. It is okay to be angry sometimes, especially when somebody really got you messed up. You know what I mean? So like, embrace those feelings, sit with it for a little while, even like, what are those feelings trying to tell you, right? Then make sure you take care of yourself spiritually, make sure you take care of yourself physically, and use all of that. Like, take care of yourself and be healthy in your relationships. Y'all, the world it's a wild, wild place. And we all have our own struggles. We all have our things that we're going through. Like, don't be out here making it worse for somebody else, because you wouldn't want that, because you have your battles that you're facing, whether you share them or not. We all have stuff we're going through. So like, don't be out here, making it worse for people. So that is what I have for y'all. Thank you so much for tuning in. I love you so much, and I will talk to y'all soon. Bye.
Ladies and gents, this concludes transmission. Tune in next time for a whole new edition. Another adventure and mission to share, be heard, and clarify the vision of this whole new world for